Have you ever wondered just how challenging the game of Minecraft could really be? I've spent countless hours crafting tools, building shelters, and battling monsters in the default survival mode. But there's always been a part of me that wondered, what if the game was pushed to its very limits? What if I had to face its most brutal challenges with few resources and no room for error? Today, I'm stepping into the unknown to see if I have what it takes to survive impossible mode. The very name gives me chills. Impossible mode. From what I've heard, it's the harshest, most unforgiving way to play. Monsters hunt day and night, hunger drains fast, and the odds are stacked high against survival. But even in the face of impossible odds, curiosity and a love of adventure called me to try. I started by crafting some basic tools and throwing together a small shelter, hoping it would keep me safe from the dangers lurking in the darkness. All through the night, misshapen silhouettes lurked outside my shelter. Guttural growls and snapping jaws filled the air as enemies gathered, as if sensing my vulnerability. By morning, a frightful horde had amassed right outside my door. For a moment, I considered abandoning my shelter and facing the unknown wilderness instead. But I steeled my resolve, remembering why I came here to face impossible mode head-on. It was time to venture out and see just how impossible this new challenge would really be. The setting sun painted the hills in an orange glow as I caught my breath atop the highest peak. All around, the shadows came alive with creeping forms and glowing eyes. My heart still raced from a harrowing escape, but I was learning this would be no forgiving playground. Every resource was scarce and danger could strike from any direction. The question echoed through my mind once more: was winning against impossible mode truly possible? Only one way to find out. I steeled myself for the dark trials ahead and walked into the night. The gnarled claws of tree branches scraped against the starry sky as I picked my way through the forest under cover of night. Illuminated eyes peered from every shadow, and haunting noises emerged from places unseen. It was easy to get turned around in the claustrophobic maze of trunks and shrubbery. Each snapped twig sent my heart racing, for who knew what monsters lurked close by, drawn by the sounds of my passage. I had to keep moving if I wanted to see the daylight, but it was clear the nighttime woods held terrors like nothing I'd faced before. As the pale light of dawn broke over the mountain peaks, I felt both relief and renewed determination. I had survived the long night, but greater trials surely lay ahead. Before me towered a massive snow-capped mountain, and I knew the only way was up if I wanted to stand a chance of taming this new land. My breath billowed white in the frigid air, but I pushed on through the deep powder. Reaching the summit would allow me to see and possibly escape whatever lay hidden in the valleys below. One way or another, my quest to conquer impossible mode was only beginning. From the mountaintop, a breathtaking yet foreboding landscape stretched as far as the eye could see. Jagged peaks breached clouds on the horizon, and towering glaciers marched across valleys and defiles. But it was its sheer scale and isolation that sent a shiver down my spine. Out here, in the vast wilderness of ice and stone, are where the true tests would await. Success or failure, every choice could mean the difference between life and an icy death. I was but a solitary player amidst an immense, indifferent world. Could I find the skill and courage to not just survive, but thrive against the greatest challenges Minecraft could offer? Only one way to find out: head out into the unknown and see what impossible mode really has in store. The rumble of falling water echoed through the ravine as I set to work crafting better tools and gear. With night falling again, I knew I'd need stronger materials to face what lurked in the darkness. As my pickaxe struck stone, I wondered what other challenges this forbidding land held. Would there be sinister dungeons hiding deadly traps and swarms of monsters? Or towering fortresses where vicious illagers lurked behind grim walls? Only one way to find out. When daylight returned, I would venture into the great unknown and start unraveling impossible mode's secrets. If I survived the night. Squinting against stinging snow, I trudged across the barren plain. Darkness fell fast as the blizzard roared in, erasing all traces of the landscape. Freezing winds clawed at my armor, seeking any gaps. In this isolated whiteout, it would be so easy to wander endlessly till starvation claimed me. and yet stopping meant being trapped in the open when monsters emerged once more. I had to keep pushing, trusting my memory of the distant shore. One wrong step could now spell the end, but turning back was not an option. I was in impossible mode. Now there was no retreat until I conquered it, or it conquered me.
Have you ever wondered where your favorite tools and contraptions may have come from? Join me on a journey through Minecraft as we discover how simple tools evolved into complex machinery. Our story begins on a sunny day in the countryside. It was there, gathering stones from the cool mountain stream, that our hero had an idea. What if those smooth, round rocks could be shaped and used to help with daily tasks? Back in the safety of their cottage workshop, experiments began. Through countless failures and breakthroughs, the first stone pickaxe was formed. Now rocks and wood could be gathered so much more easily. But our curious inventor had even bigger dreams. Poring over designs by the warm glow of the lantern, inspiration struck for turning water power into actual power. Thus began the long road to harvesting renewable energy and applying it to automation. Each new discovery built upon the last, linking mind and muscle in new harmony. What started with simple tools was unfurling into a new age of possibility and progress. The impacts of these humble works would be felt for generations to come. Our story ends where it began, in a small community now thriving. They say nature and creativity make for the most powerful of partnerships. Who knows where the spirit of innovation may lead us next? For now, let these works serve as a reminder of how small steps can make giant leaps. With each new discovery, our inventor's mind raced with possibilities. If rotating water could be harnessed to grind flour, what else might it power? Small-scale experiments led to rough schematics late into the night. While the designs were simple, their potential was anything but. It was time for a larger test. With the help of village volunteers, a former mill was revamped. Laughter and wonder filled the air as simple machines demonstrated their promise. Where once a rider ground by hand, now a horse could take a needed rest. These works of engineering earned our inventor a well-deserved name in the community. Word spread fast of the innovations in our small hamlet. Visitors came from afar, keen to understand these strange new contrivances. An inventor's work is never done, and together these curious minds sparked even loftier goals. What next project would push the boundaries of what was possible through applied science and cooperation? Only time would reveal the brilliant designs still to come.
Have you ever gotten so lost in your own imagination that you couldn't tell where fantasy ended and reality began? That's exactly what happened to me during my latest Minecraft adventure. At first, it was all fun and games, but soon things started to unravel in ways I never expected. Join me as I share my story. Maybe you can help me figure out where I went wrong before it's too late. After weeks spent building, it was finally time to reveal my secret base. I had carefully constructed hidden tunnels, stockpiled resources, and crafted traps to keep out intruders. Stepping back, I was proud of what I had created. It was the perfect hideout. But that night, as the winds howled outside, I started to feel very alone. Where had all my villagers gone? Had something followed me here that was now trapped inside with me? The next morning, I ventured out to investigate. At first, everything seemed normal, but I soon discovered disturbing signs that I wasn't alone. Strange tracks led deep into the mine shafts, and it looked like someone had been rifling through my chests. I knew I had to get to the bottom of this mystery before my secret base became my worst nightmare. It was time to flip the script and hunt the hunter. If only I wasn't already being watched. As night fell once more, I grabbed my gear and headed into the twisting stone halls. The deeper I went, the more twisted things became. Strange enchantments flickered on the walls, and some rooms looked like they'd been decorated by a warped mind. It was as if another player had moved in and made this place their own sick kingdom. I had to find them before they found me, but would learning the truth only make things worse? I slowed my breathing and steadied my shaking hands as I crept towards the strange glow emanating from deep within the forest. Whatever or whoever was awaiting me there, I had to be ready for anything. As the trees finally parted to reveal a sprawling mob arena and glowing obsidian structures rising above the tree line, I realized with dread that I may have accidentally unleashed something upon the world that could never be put back in its box. The only question left was what happens next. Tune in to find out. As I gazed upon the massive mob arena stretched out before me, I could hear the roars and howls of countless mobs echoing across the treetops. Someone had clearly spent a great deal of time and energy constructing this. But to what end? I pulled out my enchanted bow and quiver, preparing myself for what may lie ahead as I began making my way around the perimeter. The closer I looked, the more ominous the runes and symbols cut into the obsidian structures became. I found myself unable to look away, as if some unseen force was drawing me in. My mind swam with strange visions the longer I stared, and soon I couldn't remember why I had even come here or what my original purpose had been. All I knew was that I needed to see what mysterious secrets lay waiting at the arena's core.